Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to do a quick video. I got like 20 minutes before I have to be somewhere. And I want to do a quick video on how your food forest can actually heal you. I mean, literally. Now, food forests aren't just about food. They're about food, fuel, and medicine. Now, my scientific mind understands that all medicines come from plants. So it makes sense that plants would therefore also factor as medicine. Now, I was out in the backyard and I was trying to work on the arbor so that I can firm it up before the chicken coop is ready, and then we can kind of move the coop in there and it won't get in the way. So what I was doing is taking some of the cedar that I'd cut down a while ago. I was taking some of this smaller stuff and I was cutting it with a circular saw. And when the saw hit the knot, it actually spun the branch. And my hand was grabbing right where a knot would be. And when the saw grabbed the knot, it pulled it down through my hand. Now, just for a disclaimer, if you're squeamish around this kind of thing, definitely check the links in the description below. I'll put a link that fast forwards all of the description of the injury, but part of this explanation will be somewhat graphic, and I'm going to show my hand today as it is now, but I'm not going to show the injury when it happened, but I will describe it. So if you're squeamish around that stuff, or you have kids that you don't want exposed to that level of thing, just skip forward a little bit. So when this knot pulled through my finger, it actually ripped right through my hand, and I could actually see my tendon. It was that bad. And you know how when your skin is cut, if it's not sliced, through fat cells with a sharp blade, if your skin is kind of ripped apart, it forms these like bubbly fat cells. You don't realize you got fat in your hand, but you do. And it pulls apart those bubbly fat cells. So I had one of those, bubbly fat cells hanging out of my hand, and then I could see my tendon. So I knew it was a pretty bad cut. So I quickly went in and I rinsed it all off. And one of the biggest misconceptions about self-healing that kind of injury is that you don't want to use any kind of hydrogen peroxide or iodine or anything like that, because it will actually damage the skin that needs to heal. You actually just want to use a little bit of soap and run it under water. Now, as I'm saying all this, understand I am not a medical practitioner, so always seek your own medical advice. But what I was reading is that you don't actually want to use those things. You just want to flush with water. Holy smokes, how many cars are going to use this road? It's like a backcountry road, and anytime I come out here to do a video, it's just like it turns into a highway, like a car every 30 seconds. So I folded that piece of fat and skin back together as good as I could after I washed it in cold water for like a solid 15 minutes. Then I put some polysporin and I put a bandage on it. So then now I'm on the couch and I'm deciding, am I gonna go and get stitches? And it really actually surprisingly wasn't bleeding that much. So I decided I would just kind of wait and see. Now a day later, I pulled off the bandage and it looked pretty much as bad as it did the day before. And I thought it looked like in the deeper parts of the cut that they were actually starting to kind of fuse together. So I actually decided to go out and get some comfrey and some plantain from the food forest. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, comfrey is also known as bone knit in its old, historical name. And plantain is a very good healing plant. Here comes another guy. And both of these plants really, really speed up healing. Comfrey actually is called bone knit because it'll actually help bones heal. But they're really good at healing kind of abrasions and cuts. Now, the thing that you really have to be careful of with comfrey and plantain is that if you have a deep cut, which I did, if you put it on it too soon, it will actually seal up the top part of the wound really, really quickly, but the bottom part isn't healed yet. And if you have any infection in there, it can actually get really nasty. So what you actually want to do is make sure the bottom parts, the deepest parts are starting to heal, and then you put it on. Now this has been 3 days later, and I want to show you what this wound looks like. So that is the wound, and you can barely even see it. So it cut right down through here, It was so deep and it exposed my tendon. And you know, for the most part, you actually can't even tell that there was a cut there. It's absolutely crazy. And you can see that there's no redness or circling. And when I kind of feel there's no big pussy ball in there, it's actually kind of, it's healed amazing. So don't forget to plant things like comfrey and plantain. Plantain is also known as Plantago. So I really just wanted to get across the information that we shouldn't just be planting food. We should also be planting other plants that can actually be useful, especially in a, you know, poop hits the fan scenario where maybe medical intervention might not be possible. Maybe it's a snowstorm, an ice storm, forest fires. They can't maybe get to you. It's good to have plants like this on your property. It's good to start using them as soon as you can. I've been using comfrey, for example, and jewelweed and plantain for nicks, cuts, abrasions, bee stings, that kind of thing. And they really, really work. It's actually crazy how well they work. I am a massive skeptic, was a massive skeptic in this kind of thing. I am completely changed. These plants, I will actually go to some of these before I go to a, you know, tubed bottle of medicine in my medicine cabinet, because I just know these work really, really well. The best thing about something like Plantago, plantain, or comfrey is that they're probably growing really close to you wherever you are. These plants are all over the place. If you actually look through your lawn, you probably have some form of plantain. So go out and get an ID app, find the plants that are growing in and around you, all around you, and learn what benefits that they can have for yourself. Take a picture, find the Latin name through an app like, say, Plant ID or PlantNet, and then look them up on Plants for a Future, pfaf.org. It's a fantastic website that is peer-reviewed and has reference citations for every claim they make about a plant. That's how I like to get my information, something that is well documented and referenced. So use pfaf.org and definitely get out there and planting your medicinals. See you on the next one. So look at this. I want to show you the road. This is my country road. There's like 10 houses on this street. This is the road, and every time I come out here to make a video, I can't believe how many cars drive by. I think there was like 42 cars probably that drove by while I was making this video. So funny. See you guys.